Hello everybody and welcome to the Isabella von Carstein Legendary Lord Spotlight for Total War Warhammer. Now Isabella starts under the new banner of von Carstein in Schwartzhafen. She also starts alongside Vlad, and they have an undying love for each other, which we'll get to a bit later. She also has a special focus on vampire heroes, dealing extra damage with them and being able to field more. But before we get into too much detail, let's have a look at her faction intro.
Hail to you, O cold and beautiful Isabella. Manfred dwells in Castle Drakenhof, your rightful home. So whilst you should be rightfully proud of what you have achieved so far, there is clearly still much to be done. The Templehof brood control the lands to the north, as far as the River Ster. They cannot be suffered to endure, lest they threaten your strength. Raise your forces, march on the foe, and show them true terror. The high mountains to the south are infested with dwarfs. Our lands will never be safe with such an enemy so close. Make plans to drive out their stunted kind in time. So set forth, Isabella, wife and warrior, beauty and horror. The fury in your eyes will bring this world to its knees.
So Sylvania Resurrected will be our first objective, and here's how they play. Now, beloved in death, Vlad and Isabella have improved battle prowess when reinforcing one another, so once they go into battle together, they'll both be stronger. And they both have special access to a unique building in Castle Drakenhof. Now, currently Manfred, who we don't like very much, is sitting in Castle Drakenhof, so he's going to be a bit of a problem, and so is Templehof to our north, so we're going to try and unite Sylvania under one banner, von Carstein. Now let's take a look at Isabella's different skills. She has some battle effects already, melee defense and melee attack. To have a look at where this is coming from, we'll go to the details panel, and she's got a new trait called Dark Retinue. This basically gives you a +10 for embedded vampire heroes in melee attack and defense, so if you've got vampire heroes in her army, they're going to be a bit stronger. We have the Ravening Beast skill, which can give you up to 35 armor for Vargheists. Really good, considering Vargheists don't normally have much armor. At Dawn They Sleep will increase the defense and armor piercing damage of Fellbats, again focusing on flying units. The Time of Arising will give you extra leadership and melee attack for Vargulf units, and the Midnight's Children one will give you leadership and melee attack for Terrorgeists. So Isabella tends to have a focus on large monstrous units and flying units, if you go down her battle chain. She also has the quest for the Blood Chalice of Bathory. There's the 2 unique quest battles in this, and it gives you the item the Blood Chalice of Bathory. It greatly replenishes the hit points of combatants around you and their vigor. Let's take a listen to a couple of her speeches from these battles.
There is such wonder in the unbridled fury of these beastmen. They teem and fester with might. I might find them beautiful if they weren't so terribly disgusting. Beyond this rabble is the tomb of a soul so great and so powerful that when it flows into this ancient chalice, the power bestowed upon me will make the world tremble. Bring me what I am owed!
Now I've advanced time just a little bit here. The faction of Templehof are no more, and Isabella von Carstein is ready to take back Sylvania. Her army is very much reflective of her playstyle, lots of Fellbats, Vargheists and heroes. And there's Manfred sitting into Castle Drakenhof, smug look on his face, so we're going to go take him down. It's going to be tough though, because he has a garrison force as well. So yeah, it's not looking too good. We've got some siege equipment and a battering ram, but I think we're going to need to call on our hubby to help us out on this one. So luckily, Vlad is recruitable from turn 1, and he's very cheap to actually get. Obviously these two in battle reinforcing each other help each other out quite a lot, improving each other's melee attack and defense.
I know my path.
Alright, with Vlad here, we'll skip ahead a couple turns to get ready for the battle. This was one of the more epic battles I've played, and it was very early in the campaign, so I really enjoyed it. Isabella sits back while the towers move forward, the Fellbats and the Vargheists soon to follow. And somewhere in Castle Drakenhof, Manfred is preparing his defenses to best repel this invasion. Now Isabella's obviously been awaiting the arrival of Vlad and his contingent of Graveguard. They'll be a massive help in getting over the walls. And he's just arrived now. Now it's always cool to keep them back and look at the battle, but these two are very powerful melee fighters, so it was time to send them in and get them engaged in combat. So Vlad and Isabella now are right at the gate. This is really personal for them. This is Castle Drakenhof and they're going to be the first ones in. The skeleton warriors are at their backs. Cast a hex of beguilement in there to lower their melee attack and go straight in for it. Now Isabella may not be as strong of a melee fighter as Vlad, but she's got a few tricks up her own sleeve as well. She starts with 2 vampire heroes and one of them has the Lore of Shadows. She also gives them an extra buffs when they're in battle with her as well.
New order!
Now things are getting a bit personal. Manfred's down at the gate, he just smashed Vlad out of the way. Isabella's not having any of it. The 3 lords here are going toe to toe with each other for the defense of Castle Drakenhof. Now after a while, Vlad and Isabella saw their opportunity, Manfred's back was turned and whack. Isabella takes down Manfred and his army start to crumble. You can just see all the VFX and all the different things popping off now as his army just start to fade away. And after a few minutes the gatehouse was just Isabella and Vlad. The city was theirs. The von Carstein flag now reigns supreme in Castle Drakenhof. So this was actually a legit battle I fought in one of my campaigns around turn 18. You know, I've never had something so epic happen so early on in the campaigns. These massive armies clashing like this and these famous legendary lords fighting each other. It was really, really cool to see. Fast forward about 5 turns and we're able to build a mausoleum of the Mad Count, you know, once kind of Castle Drakenhof is stabilized. It also gives us access to the vampires of the Death and Shadow Lords straight away tier 1, no problem. It also 70% off, so you can get them very cheap, and it gives you 3 skill points straight off the bat if you recruit them here. So if we check our faction summary, we can see that normally we actually already have 4 available from the beginning if you play as Isabella. Now we'll be able to have 6. So that's going to be it for our Isabella von Carstein Legendary Lord Spotlight. Remember to subscribe on YouTube for more exclusive videos and to follow us on social media for all the latest news.